Are you really ready to mind your business? This is Mind Your Business with Holly Whaley, where strategy meets soul and excuses get left behind. I'm Holly, your business coach, here for real talk, real growth, and real results. So grab your coffee and let's get to work.
Good evening, everyone. I guess it depends on where you're at. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are global, so I don't know what time zone you might be in, but we are here with you today, helping you to mind your business. I'm so excited that you have joined us today. I have an incredibly special guest with me. I say that because this woman is somebody very near and dear to my heart because she's my executive assistant. And so I have her on because she doesn't just work for me, she actually has a business. And so I want her to share with you all of the amazing reasons why you need her and you actually need an executive assistant if you don't have one. So sit back, get ready, and let's dive in. So, hey, Carla.
Hi, Holly. How are you today? I'm super excited to be here.
Well, thank you. So we have none other than Carla Nicole Williams with us, who is an executive assistant. She does amazing work, and we'll dive into some of those pieces so that you can learn a little bit more about her. But I'm going to let her introduce herself as well. So, Carla, tell everybody who you are, who you service, all of that good stuff.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Carla, and I am the owner of Carla Nicole LLC. It is an executive assistant company that I started many years ago and out of nothing more than just a need. And I started it and I was able to to really transition into something that I love. And years ago when I was helping a friend, as I love to help people, she was like, you can do this for a living. And I was like, no, I can't. She was like, no, you really do have a business. And not realizing just really enjoy helping people, just enjoy just looking for like insight and different ways that we can just make life easier. That's how this whole business started. 15 years in, I'm still as excited as I was then. Of course, I'm a little older, but in still I enjoy helping people. So my business have grown so much in the past 15 years. I started out as an assistant, kind of just helping them, kind of like, Carla, do this, Carla, do that. And I was like, okay, I could do that. Carla, do this. I was checking emails. I was drafting letters. I was doing a little bit of like desktop publishing. Now we call it Canva, and graphic design. I was doing all of those things. But gradually, thanks be to God and just having insight and just wanting more, I realized that executive assistants are more than just that. We are more than just you ask me to ask me to do something and I can do it. No, we have really have involved in these past years, and I'm glad to be a part of that. And my business have evolved to where I am now a person that can sit at the table, and my thought and my decision is valid against executives, and that's an honor because I love what I do, and what I say, I don't waste words, and I research and I observe, and because I'm a Christian, I have discernment. So like I know certain things. I'll be like, oh, something about that, something's not right. Let me kind of think it through, or let me listen. So I have been able to, in the 15 plus years of being an assistant and now an executive assistant, I have evolved the business into something that I just enjoy. I think I said a lot, but I hope I answered your
It's
question.
okay. I love it. I love
Okay.
it. I love it. I used to say in corporate all the time because I worked with executives, I worked at the C levels, and I would say to people, if you want to know who really runs the business, it's the executive admins.
Yes.
Because if I wanted to know somebody's calendar, I never asked them because they didn't know.
Yes.
If I wanted to know where are they sitting in negotiations with people, they would never tell, but I could befriend their admins and I could find out a lot of information that would help me to better serve them as my client. And so, they really know people inside and out and really know even most executive admins, which I know you do as well because we work together in this capacity. They're not just admins, what people think of as admins, right? Executive assistants are project managers. They're people managers and relationship managers, people managers, and they really are project managers. And most executive assistants that I've had the opportunity to meet and know and work with, they handle the big projects within organizations. And most of the time, they don't get the credit that they deserve because of the work that they put in. But so, yes, I truly believe EAs run the business.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Hands down. So, Carla, I know tonight we want to talk a little bit about strategy meeting organization and how
Absolutely.
you fit into that because I think this is something that we don't promote enough. And yet it's critical to a business. So tell us how strategy collides with organization and what that means and how you fit into that.
Absolutely. And it really fits in because we are not bound by a certain department. So because we are not bound by certain department, we can weave in and out of departments, gaining information, applying that information to the project. So we have the ability to go into to to like sit at the meetings, get all the information from every department, gather it up, and now we can present it to our executive like, hey, did you know that this department is doing this? Did you know that this department is not quite meeting that goal? Did you know that this department cannot get in contact with another person or like another company or another company? We have that insight because we are sitting at the table and we hear everything. We hear the meeting before the meeting, and we as well as the meeting, and then we also get to sit at the meeting after the meeting. And that just gives us more insight and because assistants are very sensitive and we use a great deal of discretion, we know what to say, when to say, and how to say effectively because we are assistants. And some people do not recognize us as a viable part of an organization. But our executives know that about us, and they may pull us aside and be like, "What you think?" I'll be like, "This is what I think: A, B, and C."
Mhm.
Or are you aware of certain things? You're like, no, I may not be aware. Or are you aware that this this like client father died or something? Like we just have the ability to weave in and out, and that makes us an amazing assistant. And we can blend both the organization as well as being a good assistant. Yeah.
I love that because one of the strengths that I think most organizations need but miss is that ability to personalize certain things for their
Right.
clients. And so one thing that Carla does exceptionally well, at, at least for me, right? She does exceptionally well, is she will remind me and keep me on task, not just in the business, but in different aspects. Like she'll say to me, did you know so and so has a birthday coming up? Or did you know this or that? And it makes you look good because everybody thinks you remembered, but really it was Carla remembering. So now
Right.
everybody knows my secret. Carla's reminding me all the time, but I just want to say that those little things are big when you're going through something, right?
Right.
So when it's somebody remembering your birthday, when it's somebody you have a loss in your family and just them acknowledging it and sending a card. That's tremendous,
Right. And
and you
we
can't
make them
remember it all.
sensitive though. We make our executives become human. And I think
Yes.
a lot of times executives, they are so high up that the
Mm.
people that work for them or work in various departments, they don't always get to see that side of them. So we make them human as well as we just know things and we can like see so much more because our goal is to make them plan the bigger picture of it all. So like they can focus on those things and our job is to make the projects run smoothly. So by the time they ask a question about where are we at? Are we doing this? Are we like meeting this thing? Yes or no or why? And we have that information. We can effectively communicate it out like how come it isn't done? Well, let me tell you why is not done. They had an issue with communication or somewhere out the country lines of communication broke down. Maybe it's weather related or technical. We have that information, and now we can effectively give that information to our executives. Let me slow down because I've got excited. I
Love it, I
love what
love
I
it.
do, and I don't. And I think most executive assistants don't mind not not being called because if that project is done and you know you were part of that project, I don't care because I knew I was a critical part or a critical piece of that project. So I get excited when when I know that that project is done or that event is taken care of because I love what I do. So I'm not the person that needs to have her name called. I just know that the part that I played was crucial to the end result.
I love that. I think that when you are talking about strategy, a lot of times, so dealing with people, and I know the individuals that you specifically work with are very much visionaries and they're very creative, and therefore, most creative people, depending on how they're creative, right, lack organization. And so, how do you work with people that are huge visionaries that can build the strategy, but actually effectively implement it? Because it's two different things to have the strategy and build it and actually implement it. So,
Holly,
how do you play into that?
That's such a great question. I have the privilege, and I say that very nicely. I have the privilege of working with visionaries. And one thing about visionaries, they have the beginning idea and they have the end result, but it's the middle that I play a big role in. So yes, Holly, yes, Holly will have an idea. You go talk to Holly for 5 minutes and she will have a plethora of ideas for you. And I love that about her. But I'm like, Holly, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. So for me is I will listen because I am a great listener. I just recently became a life coach. So listening is what I do well because I have trained in that. So thank you, Dina. But I have trained in that. So I listen well. So as a person that I get to work with is talking, I'm writing, I'm taking notes because in my head I have to connect the dots. How can this go from your idea in your mind to a reality? And in the meantime, how can we get all of the parts going? Like how can we get the website and now we need the website to connect to the form. So that means that it has to be automation have to come in. Okay, automation have to come in. So then we have to post it because people need to know about it. So all these things are running through my head, but I'm still writing it down and I am just jotting down the notes because I know that in my head I have to make it make sense. Because I just know, okay, so then she's gonna need a web designer. And then that web designer need to also know how to do automation. Okay, then she's gonna need a graphic designer. Okay, then she's going to need like, and then I'm like this and this because now I have to connect the dots. So I'm listening with intent. I'm saying little to nothing because I want you to get everything out of you. I want you to leave our conversation empty. I'm getting everything out, and then after our meeting, now I have a big sheet of notes. So now I got to connect the dots. Okay, this is this, this is this, this and this. And I always tell the people I get to work with, when would you like it to be done? Because I work from the due date backwards. Because if I know I have time, then now we have more time to just excuse me, to to like interview more people, because I want the best people for that particular task or that particular project. So I always work from the due date back. I always say, when is it due? When is it due? And sometimes I say it for the client, because sometimes in their head they think they have 6 months, but March is 2 months out. So I always say, when is it due? When is it due? When is it due? Because I want them to realize that you have 2 months to like do this big project, and I'm going to go with you all the way. And then I'm just going to keep asking questions, because I never say, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm always going to ask a question to like make you think about the answer. Like, okay, but like, you don't have 30 days, you have 7. Oh, I have 7 days. Yes, because this is due the end of March. Oh, I didn't know that. So those things really help with the person I get to work with. This is my coaching. They are actually getting to the answer, but I'm just helping them. They have the answer. I'm just going to help. I just help them get to the answer. That's all.
No, I love that. And I think that one of the things too that Carla has done, so she helps me tremendously, and she's right. Like every time we call, I have a whole new business idea, right? Typically it's business stuff, but we also do a lot of ministry work together as well. And so we do conference planning and we do events and we have all these big things, and Carla really helps to lay out how we're going to work on that. She uses different tools and technology to make it easy. So she makes it to where I will say, I wanted to use this technology. And she's just like, okay, here we go. She uses it or not, she tries it. And then maybe I'll be like, I don't think this is the one that I want to use. And then she brings recommendations. So it truly is a partnership in working together to get to the end result and connecting everybody together.
Right.
So I love that she's able to do that. She is taking the notes, but also taking steps back to say, okay, here's what we need to do. Here's how long. And she really brings the realistic approach to it. So in my mind, it should take 3 days. And she's like, but the reality is it's going to take 3 weeks. And so really building that because she thinks about the steps. And again, I see it and then I want the end result. And those
Right.
steps for me are not clear. And so she really helps to build that out. So I think she does a tremendous job with that.
Thank you.
So thank you, Carla. So I have this question for you because I know our time is winding up and you and I can like go
We can
forever.
go.
But I have this question for you. So one thing that
Yes.
I know that you've done for me very, very well, and we started 5 years ago, 6 years
Has it been
ago.
that long? Time flies when you're having fun.
I think
Time
it's
really
been
flies
5 or
when
6
you're having
years
fun.
we've been working together, right? And it might even be a little longer than that. But one of the things Carla does is when she's building communications, when she is working with clients on your behalf or working with vendors or suppliers on your behalf, she's always wanted to make sure that she sounds like me, that she is not adding her own interpretation. She wants to make sure, and she has this like little survey thing, and you have to fill it out. And then she writes emails and she'll make you read them, and then she'll have you say things and she dictates it. So, one of the things Carla's been doing for a very long time is she has been a human AI in really trying to become your voice. And now, Carla, with AI being so easy to go in there and say, okay, this is how I talk, this is what I do, blah, 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 right? And you have your AI assistants, if you will, that's creating emails on your behalf and doing different things like that. How is AI impacting your industry and what you do?
So if I can have an honest moment right here, when I was first introduced to AI, I was against it. I was like, oh no, they're gonna take all the assistant jobs. No, no, no. I was against it. In fact, for a very long time, I would not even use AI because I was like, I am not using AI. But then I realized that it's how I use AI. It cannot take a human place. It can add to what you are already working on. It is quick at getting research. It it is good at editing letters. It is it is a great tool. So I am now a fan of AI because it has really made my life as an executive assistant easy. I still enjoy writing. I still love writing and I will still write the letter and sometimes I will just run it through AI because sometimes my tone might be a little too harsh. I need to kind of soften it a little bit. So it really does help. And I actually did some research because I was like, am I going to have a job in the next 10 years or next 5 years? Because I just need to make sure, do I need to shift or do, because I like what I do, but I don't want AI to like take my job? And the answer is no, because AI is a tool. It doesn't have any personality. It doesn't talk back to you as far as a human. So I use AI to help me run my business more effectively. Now, I probably don't use it to the extreme as other people use it because I still enjoy certain things. I still enjoy writing my letter. Now, I run it through AI just to make sure everything sounds good. Um, AI can be an amazing tool if you use it properly. So absolutely, I'm now a fan of AI and it makes me feel good because now I can run it through in 5 minutes. It's done. And now I can now and just now I can just check that off of my list. And now let's move on to like the next task. So I think that as assistants, we just need to embrace every app that's come out. It is 1,001 apps, and Holly has many of them that she uses all the time. So I'm constantly learning different apps. So I think that every app and every new thing we as assistants should not run away from it. We just need to embrace it. Some things are good for us and others are not. But it's up to you to like see what is good and what is not. So I love it. And I think that going forward we just need to embrace it. Because our executives, they don't want AI sitting. They don't want a monitor sitting there. They want a human person. They want to walk in and just say, "How was your daughter's game? Did she win last night? Oh, don't forget that your grandmother' birthday is tomorrow. Are you gonna send her flowers, or did you already send her like that kind of stuff? Like they want to know that. So we should not run from that. We should embrace it and know that you can AI cannot replace that. I am very confident in what I do. As much as Holly has all of these apps and all of these different things that make her life easier, I'm still going to be Holly's assistant. It doesn't, she can have, I'm like, okay, then what app am I learning this week? Okay, then let's do it. Because I know that outside of AI, Holly likes a real person. She likes to chit chat and we have to girl talk for 5 minutes. Then we get back to work and all this kind of stuff. But that's what a human executive assistant does.
Mhm. I
So,
think one of the things, so I often say to people, AI is not going to replace your job. It's going to replace the redundant things you hate doing, right?
yeah,
That's really, it's a tool. It's a tool like Canva. It's a
right.
tool like your contacts. I remember people having Rolodexes, right? Now,
That.
my kids probably wouldn't even know what a Rolodex was if I said that out loud, right? Because everything's on their phone in the palm of their hand. And there are still people to this day. In fact, I know a few that like paper planners. They want to write. I like everything digital. They like to write. I don't care where you put it. Just let's not miss meetings, right?
Right.
We all are different. We all run a little differently. And because I work with entrepreneurs, I'm constantly challenging my team to use different apps, use different tools because we need to test them. We need to see what they're like because I have a client that's looking for something, right? And so I want to test it before we do it. So poor Carla gets all of that. But what's important is now I get feedback.
Right.
AI isn't going to give me that type of feedback. And so you need that to understand AI is a tool. It's no different than a fork and a knife. It's a tool. And if you use it properly, then
Right.
it's great,
Right.
right? It's great.
If I
So,
could add one more thing
yes,
as an
please.
assistant for anybody that is thinking about it, one thing you have to understand is that you can't take things personal. And I don't want to dwell on this long, but you really can't because it's not your business. You are working for a client. It's been many times where I haven't liked certain projects or certain things, but I had to realize that even though I worked hours on it, I have to realize that it's not my business, and that's okay. You ha- you you as an assistant have to take your personal your you can be passionate about your job, but your personal thoughts around different projects, you have to take that out because sometimes your executive knows more than what you know or just know the trends. So for you in this field, just really have to take your personal and that's okay, which is why I can make a phone call to like certain clients and be like, oh, okay, because it's not personal to me. I take my
Hmm.
job personally, but I do not take doing calls and having feedback and things that may not be as nice, but that's okay because I don't take that personal. I could just
I
add
think
that.
that it's critical when you're assisting and working with people to understand that and Carla reminds me often, like, "This isn't my vision, it's yours. How do you see it?" Right? Because
Right.
a lot of times there's certain things I don't really care about, honestly, like, just tell me what you think, Carla, and let's roll with it. Because the important thing for me is the end result, and
Yeah.
she'll say, "No, no, this isn't my vision, this is yours," and
It's
so she
yours.
constantly challenges me to think about the things that sometimes aren't that important to me, but it's important to the project.
Yeah.
And so thank you for saying that because that's very, very true. So, one last question.
Yes.
What about because a lot of the people that I reach are small business owners, solopreneurs. If they're sitting there and they're going, well, it's great for you, Holly, because you have this ability. And let me just say this. First of all, if it wasn't for Carla, I could not organize my life. I'm just going to say that. She helps me with everything my business, my ministry, my speaking, like everything. She has her hands in it for me. And so for me, Carla's a non negotiable, but that's for me, right? Because I've been working with her for a long time and it just, that's how it works for us. But if you have a solopreneur out there that says, look, it's great for you, Holly, that you've got this great executive assistant, but I can't afford one, or I don't know what I would use one for right now, what would you say to them?
I would say give me a call. Inbox me because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know if you could afford me. You don't know that you may not need 8 hours a week or 40 hours a week. You may just need 2 hours a week. So you don't know I have plans and I have various packages that will suit your need, and maybe right now it might be 2 hours a week and then it may go to 8 hours, but you don't know. So just inbox me. I know Holly will share all of my communication, but you don't know. If we have a conversation, my first initial conversation is always just let them talk. What is it that you need? I think I need this because at the beginning of it, it may be one thing, but at the end, it may be another thing. So you don't know. So let's just have a conversation, and just how I'm talking to Holly here, that's how I would just talk to you, and I would just sit and I would just write and I would just take notes and usually I would just tell you exactly. It seems like you just need somebody just to check your inboxes, or you just seem that you need somebody just to check your calendar, or you just seem like you just need somebody just to make sure that you stay on them tasks. So let's just have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation because you don't know until you know. I have had the pleasure. I have worked with so many people on things I never worked on, but because because I am a great assistant, I am very much task oriented. Now that I can do. So I may not know exactly what it is, but I'm so task oriented that I'll figure it out. So my clients, I have the privilege of working with some amazing clients, and they go from having an album to working with people that can't help themselves, or working with Holly in ministry and business and personal. So my clients are very much across the board, and they all love me and I love them back. So we have a great relationship, and I don't take it for. I'll sit right here and I'll just talk to you. I'm like, okay. Or sometimes I'll be like, okay, well, let's just wait, because you can always call me for a quick conversation. I'm never above, because somebody talked to me along the way. And I have a mentor, somebody that I can call, because other assistants knows what it's like to be frustrated, be like, oh my goodness. I need somebody that can understand what we are going through, because we can't tell our executives, 'cause a lot of times it's our executives. So we can't tell them. So we have our executive assistant group that we talk and we share. I mean, not indulging information, but just say, share, and we just get like different points and different ways just to be more effective.
And the thing is, I love what you said, that you may not need 8 hours, right? Because we get things stuck in our head. And so I will say this: Carla is my executive assistant. I do have a team of people that work in various areas, right? But Carla is my personal assistant, my executive assistant. I have other team members that do other administrative functions that help and assist as well. But at the end of the day, Carla doesn't have to spend 8 hours a day with me, right? Maybe there will be a time when we will get to that point and I will need her 8 hours a day. But really, she has a lot of other clients she deals with. And I never feel like that, first of all. In fact, I always think she's just mine, right? Because I call her at all times, I talk to her constantly, and she's always working on my project. So how could she possibly have anybody else that she's helping? Which tells you that she's organized in really helping a lot of different people with their executive assistant things. And I know for a fact that a friend of mine hired her for a project. So you might just need a project done, right? So she does all of that. So, yes, her information will be in the show notes. So please, please, please give her a call.
Please.
Great networking opportunity as well. Just reach out, learn about her business, let her learn about yours. And that's how we continue to build.
Right.
And then, when you need her, you know where to find her, because she's always there. And so I'm excited
I'm
about
excited.
all that we're doing this year in our business. And I know that she wants to help you grow yours and help you build
Absolutely.
yours.
Absolutely.
So that is it. We went over, as always, but it was deep, rich conversation. I'm so excited to have shared one of my favorite people with you tonight. So thank
You're
you,
mine,
Carla,
sis.
for being on with us. And I hope that you are continuing to mind your business.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with Holly Whaley. If today gave you that spark, strategy, or straight up truth you needed, be sure to hit subscribe and stay connected. Growth happens when you mind your business with intention and a little courage. And if you're ready to go deeper with strategy, accountability, and community, I'd love to invite you to the Builders Circle, my group coaching space for entrepreneurs who are serious about building well. You'll find the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep minding your business, because the world needs what only you can build.